It's day 30 on Survivor China, and the final 6 are making their way to their next challenge. In confessional, Hannah says she's more ready than ever to blast through this endgame and hopefully win the title of sole survivor. This win would mean a lot to her because she can use that prize money to help with law school. Her dream has always been to be in the realm of law, and winning this show makes it 100% doable. Right now, her game is in danger because 5 people tried voting her out, 4 of which are walking right behind her. In another confessional, Steph says she needs to play this endgame very carefully because she's still balancing a few relationships. She has a strong thing going with Alec and Garth, but she also has a close thing going with Julian. As long as those people are loyal to her, she should be set to reach the end. In another confessional, Julian says he never thought he'd make it to Final 6. Hopefully it doesn't end here. Hopefully he reaches Final 2 and pleads his case to a jury. This jury probably doesn't see his gameplay, but they will learn how much strength it has taken for him to reach this endgame after losing ally after ally. In another confessional, Garth says he has one thing he's struggling with right now, and it's picking between Alec or Steph to take to Final 2 with him. Both of them have been great allies from the jump, and he wants to take both of them to the end because he feels like there's a good chance he wins. But, who should he take? In another confessional, Shelby says that her pageanting skills are coming into full effect in this finale. There's no giving up now. Every vote matters, and every relationship matters. Hannah and Alec are her 2 biggest obstacles right now, so hopefully they get dealt with next. In one final confessional, Alec says he didn't come out here to lose. He's been playing a winning game from the start. This game takes a lot of skill to master, and he doesn't even know if he mastered it yet. He needs to reach the end and win in order to claim that he mastered the game of Survivor. There are still some people here who want his head on a stake, so he needs to proceed very cautiously. The 6 then arrive to the challenge mat where Justin awaits them. Justin welcomes them for their next immunity challenge and then invites Garth up to hand back the necklace. Garth complies, and then Justin claims that for today's challenge, everyone must run through shallow water and push a crate back to their mat. They must then climb the crate and then get up their platform above. Once there, shoot a ball and land it on the pole ahead. The first to land a ball on the pole wins immunity. In addition, the winner will also win reward. Tonight, the winner will need to send a juror home. That's right. One of Jeannie, Adam, Betty, Maria, Roland, or Daniela will be sent off the jury, and that decision is all in today's winner's hands. With that, everyone is positioned for the challenge, and Justin begins it. Everyone then runs through the water and get to their crates. They begin pushing their crates back, and Alec is off to a fast lead. Everyone else is neck and neck. Alec continues to push his crate with ease, and Julian is the one starting to fall behind everyone else. Alec then reaches the mat and gets up on his crate, quickly climbing up the platform and getting ready to shoot his balls. Everyone else is still pushing, and Alec takes his first shot. He misses. He shoots again. He misses. Hannah and Garth then get their crates to their mat, and they begin climbing. Alec shoots another ball but misses. He then tries again, and the ball glides off the top of the pole and falls off. Shelby and Steph both reach their mat next, and Hannah is up on her platform meanwhile. Garth also gets up, so Hannah and Garth now shoot their balls, missing their first shots. Alec continues throwing, but misses shot after shot. Hannah and Garth also keep missing, and finally, Steph and Shelby are in the action. Julian finally gets his crate onto his mat, so he begins climbing up. Hannah shoots a ball and gets it to hit the pole, but it doesn't land on top. Garth then manages to get his next ball on the top of the pole, meaning Garth has one individual immunity and reward. Garth screams "No way," and Alec claps for Garth. Julian meanwhile lays down on his platform, exhausted from the pushing. Back on the mat, Justin calls up Garth, so he comes up front. Justin puts the necklace around his neck, claiming that he's not only immune tonight, but he will send a juror home as well. He'll have the rest of the day to think about what he'll do. As for the rest, someone will be the 17th person voted out and technically the 6th member of the jury. Everyone begins heading out, and in confessional, Garth says he feels blessed to have gotten the winning shot in that challenge. This win is huge because he's not only guaranteed Final 5, but he also gets to send a juror of his choice back home. He has to be very strategic with his decision and eliminate a juror he doesn't see voting him ever to win this season. Back at camp, everyone congratulates Garth, and Hannah asks him if he thought of some names for the jury elimination yet. Garth says he's not sure yet, but all they need to know is that it's his own decision. He doesn't wish to hear any influencing today. In confessional, Hannah says she's not in a happy mood because she lost a very important challenge. She could possibly go to jury tonight because the entire tribe tried voting her out. It took Alec to signal to her to use her idol, and she's glad she listened. Now she needs to regroup with some people and see what's up. Outside of camp, Hannah and Alec chat, and Hannah asks Alec what he thinks they should do. Alec says he truly feels like Steph can be trusted because she wasn't the one behind her possible elimination. The others were equally behind it. Hannah says she's just worried that Garth and Steph will just work with Julian and Shelby tonight, but Alec says he can try his best to get Steph and Garth to work with them. Maybe they can offer a split vote plan between Julian and Shelby. That'll probably be appealing because idols are extremely scary at this stage of the game. In confessional, Alec says he needs to keep Hannah calm and steer her in the right direction as to who she should go after. Steph and Garth shouldn't be her enemies. It should be Julian and Shelby. In fact, he wants one of those two to go tonight because that'll be best case scenario for his own game. Meanwhile, Steph walks around the area, searching for an idol. In confessional, Steph says she assumes Hannah used the merge idol, so she may as well go looking for a possible re-hidden one. She looked everywhere, constantly thinking about how perhaps Hannah will find the re-hidden idol before her. Steph then keeps looking, but takes a break after looking for 25 minutes. Julian is with Shelby at camp, and he asks her if they should even try talking to Hannah tonight. Shelby says it's worth a shot because they don't have many options. Garth is probably going to side with Alec this time, and who knows what that Steph girl will do. In confessional, Shelby says that uncertainty continues to run through this camp. Everyone is loyal to someone different, and it's just a bundle of mess. She needs to quirk up her social game in this endgame if she plans to stick around. Shelby then tells Julian that they'll need to convince Hannah to vote out Alec. If Steph and Garth won't do it, she's their only hope now. Julian says he 100% agrees and has wanted that man out for some time now. Shelby says she's glad they are on the same page. They are probably the smartest people here outside of Alec. Hannah, Alec, and Garth are together, so Alec suggests they come together with Steph as a 4 and split their votes between Julian and Shelby. Garth says that sounds good, and he specifically thinks they should re-vote on Julian. That's someone Steph is too loyal to right now. She told him many times to vote someone else whenever he suggested Julian's name. Hannah says she is fully on board with this and is putting the previous vote into the past. In confessional, Alec says that part 1 of his plan is now complete, which is getting Garth on board. Now he has to get Steph on board, which might be more difficult. Unless he lies about the plan. Steph meanwhile continues searching around for an idol, checking bush after bush and tree after tree. Eventually, she finds a package in a bush, and she immediately yanks it and stuffs it away. In confessional, Steph says she cannot believe she found the merge idol. You really had to look for it in order to find it. Having an idol at Final 6 is so good for her game because it opens up so many more options. She could use it tonight to make a big move, or even save it for guaranteed safety at the Final 5. Alec then appears and calls out for Steph, and she turns back and goes up to him. He then asks her what's up, and Steph says she found the merge idol. Alec's jaw drops, and he asks her how. She then says it was hidden so well in a bush. Alec tells her they are gods at this game because now they both have an idol each. Steph then asks him if he knows what they are doing tonight, and Alec says it's simple. 2 votes on Julian, 2 votes on Shelby. In the re-vote, they do Shelby. Steph then asks who is on who, and Alec says they will make it simple. Girls on Shelby, boys on Julian. Steph then asks if they can switch it to girls on Julian since she doesn't trust Hannah to not make a move of her own. Alec then says he doesn't see why not. He can tell Hannah to vote Julian then. In confessional, Alec says he's actually really happy for Steph because now they both have a sense of security in their pockets. If they both keep their idols for Final 5, they can make a big move together if they want to. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Shelby meanwhile chats with Hannah, asking her if she's willing to make a move against Alec tonight, and Hannah apologizes and says she won't be doing that. Alec saved her last night by letting her know to use the idol on herself, so she has no choice but to be loyal to him now. Shelby tells her it's all part of his plan to get people to sheep him, but Hannah says she doesn't necessarily think she's a sheep for Alec. In confessional, Shelby says it's frustrating that people are still playing Alec's game. She is never voting one of those people to win in the end, and if she's forced to, she would much rather leave the jury. Yes, that's right. She'll leave the jury. Hannah, Steph, and Garth are super dead to her. Garth later pulls Steph aside, asking her if she knows the plan yet. Steph says it's girls on Julian and boys on Shelby. Garth then says he thought guys were on Julian, but Steph says they are switching it so that Hannah has to vote Julian. She doesn't want 3 votes on Julian if they plan to vote out Shelby tonight. Garth says he sees what she means, and in confessional, Garth says he actually doesn't like the idea of Steph being lied to about this vote. He'd rather just tell her the truth because she deserves to know as his close ally. Garth then tells Steph that Alec and Hannah are actually planning to re-vote onto Julian tonight, so he thought she would want to know. Steph squints and says that's not what Alec told her, but Garth tells her she's not technically supposed to know. Steph smirks and says she's actually so mad right now, but she's not going to do anything about it right now. She'll just proceed with the plan and yell at Alec later. In confessional, Steph says that Alec will not be tricking her tonight. He thinks he can just make her look dumb in the re-vote, but when he sees that she also votes Julian in the re-vote, he will be shocked himself. He will realize that Garth isn't actually that loyal to him, and he'll feel terrible about it. He and Hannah can have their own honeymoon. She'll just laugh with Garth and they'll make it to Final 2 together at this point. It's night 30, and everyone arrives to tribal council and sit down. Justin welcomes them back, and he also proceeds to welcome their newest juror, Daniela. Justin then asks Garth how he is feeling about his reward win today, and Garth says he feels ready about his decision tonight. Justin then clarifies that Garth will be eliminating a juror of his choice tonight, and then all of the jury is in shock. Garth apologizes to the jury, telling them he wishes they could all stay here, but now he has to send one of them home. Justin then asks Garth who he has considered to send out, and Garth admits he only really had one name in mind, and that's the person he'll be eliminating. Justin then says that before he does, he wants to know if anyone else has any clue what Garth will do with his reward. Everyone shakes their head, and Hannah admits that Garth claimed that he'll be making this decision on his own tonight. Justin then asks Garth if he's ready to send a juror out, and Garth says he is. He will be eliminating. Daniela. Justin then stands up and looks at Daniela, telling her that her time is now up as a juror. She must now leave the tribal council area immediately. Daniela smirks and thanks Garth for sending her out just as she got to become a juror, and Garth apologizes. She tells him to save the apology because she doesn't need to hear it. He should own this move, and once again, he isn't doing that. Daniela then walks out, and Julian turns to Shelby and says he can't believe she's gone now. Justin then sits back down, asking Alec if Daniela leaving the jury is a huge deal. Alec says it really is because Daniela has strong opinions within the context of the game. She's a strong player this season, so he expected a lot of fireworks from her on finale night. Justin then asks Shelby if this jury elimination decision by Garth affects her own chances at winning now, and Shelby says no. It's just one vote, and if she makes it to the end, she wants all the votes, not just half of them. Justin then turns to Steph, stating that he wants to change the topic now to tonight's vote, so he wonders what the discussions were like at camp today. Steph says she barely spoke to many people today, and Julian then adds he always wondered where she was this entire day. Steph says she was looking around for any hidden items, but she sadly came up empty-handed. It was worth a try. Hannah then says she actually found her idol at the boat reward, so it wasn't even a merge idol anyway. Someone else might have that merge idol, though, and it's definitely not her. Justin then asks Garth if split vote plans are in the works still because of idols, and Garth says yes. Everyone knows how dangerous idols are, so split votes are necessary to counter them. Justin then asks Shelby how important tonight's vote is for her game, and Shelby says it might be a do-or-die night for her. She knows who to target, and now it's up to everyone else if they want to take the necessary shot tonight. Justin asks Alec if he knows what this necessary shot is, and Alec says he won't comment because Shelby will otherwise jump him if he makes assumptions. Justin then asks Steph if this tribe will suffer another major divide after tonight, and Steph says she honestly hopes not. She just wants to reach the end as easily as possible. They've all fought for 30 days now, and they are 4 days away. It would be awful to throw away the game now. Justin then says it might be a good time to get to the vote, so everyone prepares for it.
I'll tally the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Alright, I'll read the votes. First vote, Shelby. Julian. 1 vote Shelby, 1 vote Julian. Shelby. That's 2 votes Shelby, 1 vote Julian. Alec. That's 2 votes Shelby, 1 vote Julian, 1 vote Alec. Alec. We're tied. 2 votes Shelby, 2 votes Alec, 1 vote Julian, 1 vote left. 17th person voted out of Survivor China and the 6th member of the jury. Shelby.
Many people are a bit stunned, but Julian shakes his head and Shelby calls everyone here cowards. Alec squints and looks at Garth, and Garth apologizes to him. Steph meanwhile smiles and looks down at the floor. Shelby then puts her torch down next to Justin, watching it get snuffed. She then looks back at the rest and says that she will not vote for a coward to win this game, so they all better step it up from now on. She then makes her way out, and nobody but Julian say goodbye to her. Alec then asks Steph if she knew this was happening, and Steph publicly admits that her and Garth both agreed to vote Shelby together. Hannah's eyes widen, and Alec nods and says well played. Justin then sends the tribe back to camp, so everyone then starts heading back. Shelby's final thoughts. Shelby admits she saw this coming. These people are generally just cowardly players. The only person she respects now is Julian because he actively tried going for Alec round after round. It's just they are surrounded by dumbass players who won't make that move. She doesn't care at this point who wins, but she'll definitely advocate for Julian because he's the only one playing Survivor at this point. Back at camp, Hannah asks if someone can explain what just happened, and Steph says that she found out they wanted to blindside her and vote Julian out. Alec then admits they were going to, and when she asked him to switch the plans so girls vote for Julian, he knew something wasn't right. Steph then asks Alec if he even told Hannah to switch her vote onto Julian then, and Alec shakes his head. He admits he wanted to test her own vote tonight, and he did not expect Garth to switch his vote as well. Garth apologizes and admits he told Steph because he thought it was right, and Alec says it's fine. In confessional, Julian says he doesn't know what he's witnessing tonight, but clearly these people planned some 4D chess move with this split vote. Like hello, this was such a simple split for them, and somehow it's confusing them now with how it played out. All he knows is Steph wanted to keep him around and Alec tried taking him out, so now he knows that Steph is looking out for him in this endgame. It's day 31, and Alec and Garth are away from camp for a chat. Garth then asks Alec if he's mad at him for last night, and Alec says he's not. He just wishes he was told ahead of time. In confessional, Alec admits that last night's vote was such a mess. Originally, they were going to have the girls on Shelby and guys on Julian. Then, they re-vote on Julian without Steph knowing. But then, Steph wanted to switch it so girls go on Julian, so he knew something wasn't right. Therefore, he never told Garth and Hannah to switch their votes. He wanted to see if Steph was going to switch her vote or not, and she did. He just did not expect Garth to vote Shelby with her, and that's kind of scary that Garth is showing signs of broken trust. Alec then tells Garth he doesn't really care that Shelby went. She was going to have to go anyway. Now they just have to deal with Steph and Julian's possible relationship. Garth tells him he is close to Steph, so there's no way she'll prioritize Julian again. In confessional, Garth says he's confident he can keep Steph close to him. Alec shouldn't worry about her right now. Even then, he'd rather see Hannah go next because she's just not that trustworthy. Maybe she can go next over Julian. That wouldn't be much of an issue for him. The final 5 arrive to the challenge mat for their next immunity challenge, and Justin says good morning. He then calls up Garth, so Garth hands back the necklace. Justin then claims that immunity is back up for grabs. For today, they will all need to hold on to a pole the longest. It's as simple as that. The last player on their pole will win immunity, safe from the vote. Losers will be vulnerable at tribal where one of them will be the 18th person voted out and the 7th member of the jury. With that, everyone is on their own poles, and Justin claims this challenge is on. Everyone holds on tightly to their poles, and Alec immediately leaps off first. Justin claims they didn't even get to the 10-second mark, and Alec says it's not his challenge. Everyone else then hangs on, and Garth begins to shake right off the bat. Justin then claims that last season, this challenge lasted 38 minutes. We'll see if that can be passed today. Garth then drops out at the 1-minute mark, and Justin confirms we're down to just 3 now. Hannah, Steph, and Julian are all fighting for immunity. 10 minutes pass in this challenge, and Justin claims that the heat is quite unbearable today, adding a level of difficulty to this challenge. Hannah breathes in and out slowly, trying not to move an inch, and Julian meanwhile starts to feel his legs trembling. He tries readjusting, but pain starts to set in. Steph meanwhile looks rock solid, and Hannah also gets into a more comfortable position now. Julian then drops out of the challenge next, meaning it's down to Hannah against Steph in this endurance challenge. Both women stay strong, and more time passes. Justin then claims that they have been up on that pole for a total of 25 minutes now, just 13 minutes away from reaching that 38-minute goal. Steph's arms begin to shake, while Hannah remains solid on her pole. Steph continues to breathe in and out, and Julian roots her on. Steph continues to shake, and it worsens after each second that passes. Hannah meanwhile still remains very solid in this challenge, not moving an inch. Steph then asks Hannah if they are good tonight, and Hannah says of course. Steph then says she can't do it anymore, but Julian begs her to stay on. Steph then drops out, meaning Hannah has won immunity, safe from tonight. Hannah then jumps off, and Alec gives her a massive hug. Julian then goes to hug Steph, telling her he really doesn't want to go tonight, and Steph remains quiet due to how exhausted she is. Back on the mat, Justin calls up Hannah for her necklace, so she heads up. Justin then puts it around her neck, claiming she will not be leaving tonight. As for the rest, one of them will be the 18th person voted out and the 7th member of the jury. As an additional reminder, tonight is the last time for idols to be played. With that, everyone then heads back to camp, and in confessional, Julian sighs and says that he relied on Steph to win this immunity so that he had at least some chance to get out Hannah tonight. The fact that she's safe probably means Alec, Steph, Garth, and Hannah are all going to vote him out tonight. It sucks. It really does. Back at camp, everyone congratulates Hannah on her immunity win, and she thanks them all. In confessional, Steph says she's not too worried tonight because she has an idol that she has to use at this point. With Alec also having an idol he's using tonight, it only leaves two options realistically, and that's Julian or Garth. Unfortunately, these are two people she's technically aligned with, and Hannah winning immunity messes up her final four plans. But now she has to change up her plans and take out one of her close allies. Alec and Hannah chat together, and Hannah says she doesn't like what happened with Steph last night. She clearly manipulated Garth into voting out Shelby over Julian. It just shows how much influence Steph has. Alec says he's not bitter or upset because they also tried to pull the rug from underneath her, but Hannah says she doesn't care. It just shows that Steph is intelligent, so they need to make sure she goes tonight. In confessional, Alec says that Steph is practically the smartest player here. She knew the split vote was suspicious and wanted to take advantage of it and take out Shelby. It doesn't matter now because she's immune anyway because of her idol, but Hannah obviously doesn't know this and wants to vote her out. Alec then tells Hannah that he's not actually supposed to leak this, but Steph told him she found the idol yesterday. Hannah shakes her head in annoyance, claiming that yesterday would have been a perfect time to take her out then. But whatever at this point. In confessional, Hannah says she's so annoyed that Steph has an idol because tonight was a perfect time to vote her out. Alec had this information last night and did nothing with it. It's so disappointing that he trusts her so much when he should be trying to take her out. Hannah then asks Alec if they are doing Julian then for this vote, and Alec says they will need to do that. They need to make sure Steph uses the idol on herself, so it's best to act a little bit sketchy around her. Julian and Steph meanwhile chat, and Julian says he doesn't know what to do at this point. He feels backed in a corner. Steph then says that she is trying her best daily to keep the two of them safe, and she just saved him last night. Julian says he knows and she doesn't need to brag about it, but Steph tells Julian that he needs to step it up now and do some social work on his end. She can't do all the carrying. In confessional, Steph says she's frustrated that Julian keeps complaining about being the target, but he never ends up doing anything about it. She's doing everything for him. With that being said, she definitely doesn't want to send Julian to the jury tonight. She needs someone by her side while Hannah is still here. But, on second thought, Garth technically is more loyal to her than to Alec. Maybe Garth is the better option to keep over Julian. Steph then tells Julian that they have no choice but to vote for Garth tonight because Alec has an idol. News flash. Julian rolls his eyes and says he knew it. He knew Alec was going to be impossible to vote out tonight. What a shame. In confessional, Julian says he's so irritated that Alec is immune once again. Congratulations to Alec. He's the winner of Survivor China. Just hand him the check at this point. Alec chats with Garth, letting him know that they will need to stack the votes on Julian tonight. Garth says it's a no-brainer. They have the numbers. In confessional, Garth says he's really happy about his position right now because he's surrounded by two people who want to take him to the end, that being Alec and Steph. If he continues to be equally loyal to the two of them, they will probably honor their deals to him and go for each other at the final 3 tribal council vote. Julian meanwhile talks with Hannah, asking her what she's thinking for tonight. Hannah says that the easy move for her would be voting him out, but that's not what she wants to do, especially with there only being 3 more vote-offs remaining. Maybe they can pull a fast one on Steph and take her out. Julian says it's an interesting thought, and Hannah says she's aware that Steph has an idol in her pocket that Alec warned her about. Julian scoffs and says he was never told about that idol. That's crazy to hear. In confessional, Julian says that he keeps getting blindsided conversation after conversation. Steph has an idol apparently, and she never told him about it. Somehow, Alec and Hannah know before him. That's crazy. Hannah then tells Julian she wants to convince Steph to use the idol on him. Then, their 2 votes go on her. Julian calls this an epic setup, and he's ready to pull it off. In confessional, Hannah says she's going to take down Steph even if she has that damn merge idol. If she can snipe Steph out tonight, that's her game-winning move. That'll earn the respect of multiple jury members. That'll shake up this endgame and put her in a much better spot where she doesn't need to battle against Steph anymore. However, it's all up to Julian if he can convince Steph to use the idol on him. Julian then quickly goes to Steph, telling her that she needs to trust him right now. Basically, there's a plan from Hannah to take her out. Steph smirks, and Julian also reveals that Hannah also leaked that she has an idol. Steph's smile goes away, and she admits she does have one but didn't know that someone saw her pick it up. Julian then says that apparently Alec knew first, so if she didn't tell him, he probably saw her pick it up. Either way, Garth and Alec are voting for him tonight, and Hannah will vote for her. If she uses her idol on him, they have the numbers to vote out Garth tonight. In confessional, Steph says she never saw dirtier gameplay this season. Her idol is public knowledge thanks to Alec, who is once again trying to screw her game over. And now, Julian is warning her that Hannah wants to snipe her out of the game. Of course, this means she would have to give the idol to Julian tonight and risk her own game just to take Garth out. She's unsure if she's willing to take that risk so late in this game. This is a very tough decision that could really decide whether she wins this game or not. Does she save Julian? Or does she just go with the numbers and vote him out to keep her other close ally, Garth? It's night 31, and the Ravagers tribe arrives to tribal council. Justin then welcomes their newest juror, Shelby, and she refuses to smile at the remaining 5. Justin then looks at Hannah first, claiming that today's immunity challenge seemed designed for her to win it. Hannah laughs and says it wasn't that bad once she got into the zone. Her body adapted to that pole pretty quickly. Justin then tells Julian that he seemed pretty devastated after losing today's challenge, and Julian says he was. Tonight could very well be his last. There's 4 people here who voted Shelby out last night, so why not clean him off? Hannah then says that they technically didn't vote united, but in a way they are still a 4. Justin then asks Alec if this 4 is actually sticking strong tonight, and Alec says that he hopes they do. It would be a shame for things to switch up, especially with the possibility of idols still being around here. Justin then asks Garth if all 4 of them are confident enough to make final 2, and Garth shrugs. Justin then says that 2 of them won't make it to final 2, so not all of them can be confident they are reaching the end. Garth says of course, and it's more of a judgment call they each have to make. His own judgment call is that voting out Julian is the right move for him. Julian says it's brutal to be that honest, but he respects it nevertheless. Alec then says that the truth is that Julian has been a pretty strong jury threat because he hasn't actually voted most of these people out. Justin then asks Steph if jury perception is something that worries her right now, and Steph admits it has been on her mind every day. She doesn't know what the jury thinks of her compared to other people. Maybe she's on people's shit lists. Who really knows? Justin then asks Hannah if flashy moves are the way to go, or if taking a more laid-back approach is smarter. Hannah then takes a moment to think about it, and then she says that no matter what, you need to make decisions that are smart. Who cares about flashy? Even the smartest moves in history have been flashy. Again, they are all banking on the fact that they can take themselves to Final 2 and win, so it's not about being flashy right now. Making smart moves is the main priority. Justin then asks Alec if the unexpected should be expected with tonight's vote, and Alec giggles and says he wouldn't be shocked if somehow Julian stands up with an idol. Jokes aside though, it does terrify him that an idol could end his whole game. Julian has been wanting to vote him out for ages now, and tonight could be his night if he plays an idol. Julian then comments that they'll see about it then. Maybe he does have one. Maybe he doesn't. Garth then jokingly asks Julian to spare him, and Julian doesn't say anything in response and just continues to smile. Justin then says it's probably a good time to get to the vote, so everyone prepares.
I'll tally the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and they want to play it, now would be the last time to do so. Alec and Steph are both using their hidden immunity idols tonight. Alec is deciding to go first, and he is using his idol on himself. As for Steph, she is using her hidden immunity idol on Julian. That means any votes for Alec or Julian tonight will not count. I'll read the votes. First vote. Julian. Does not count. Julian. Does not count. Steph. 1 vote Steph. Garth. 1 vote Steph, 1 vote Garth, 1 vote left. Eighteenth person voted out of Survivor China and the 7th member of the jury. Garth.
Alex says wow out loud and immediately tells Garth this was definitely not him, and Garth says that was a real good play by Steph and Julian. Julian sighs out loud in relief, and Steph thanks Hannah for trying to take her out. Hannah then stares ahead and stays quiet, and Garth tells everyone it was an honor to play this game with each and every one of them. Julian says good game to him, and Garth puts his torch down next to Justin. Justin then snuffs the torch, so Garth begins making his way out. Alec then looks at Steph, calling her insane for that, and Steph smiles back at him. Justin then tells the final four to head back to camp, so they all begin making their way out. Garth's final thoughts. Garth says he had no idea Steph was going to vote him out, let alone use an idol on Julian rather than herself. That was a very bold move that almost backfired, but she did it successfully. Clearly, she wanted to prioritize Julian over him, and he can't be mad at her. Sometimes, you need to make difficult decisions in this game, and she made a very difficult one tonight that worked out for her, at least for now. We'll see if this helps her get to Final 2, and if it does, he'll actually consider voting for her to win, even over Alec.